Recording has started.
Sky, where's your famous startup? Been that long since I've charged that battery. That's funny.
Last week, my mind is not working today, guys. I apologize. You guys found out you were being stalked by a black three-legged hunting cat. I guess we should start with, Rogar was sent on a divine mission to avenge the deaths of some fairy dragons, and I guess protect, some fairy dragon eggs. And then you guys continued on to explore the rest of the island. You discovered you were being stalked by a black six-legged hunting cat, and some birds were doing some very out of character things with Sky, coming and landing on his shoulder and his head and just kind of hanging out with the party for a while. Sky did manage to, I believe, is through a brief conversation or brief meeting with his deity, Maliki. He was able to make out that the birds were actually sent to track the party by a person that looks an awful lot like Ilaria. I believe that's where we left off, though. Did we do anything after Sky figured that out?
Just getting done with lunch.
Okay, so you guys are just getting done with lunch, and you figure all that out about the birds, and I believe you've talked to each other about the birds. What are you guys gonna do?
They just explained that. He just explained that it was. They believe that he was dead. Raised the dead.
Yeah, that's right. You guys did talk to Numor Harris, Mormheras. And Ilaria did give the suggestion. Ilaria from the sword gave the suggestion that this person who is tracking you is actually Ilaria raised into undeath. An undead version of her.
Always the dead, man. It's always the dead. Here's Halloween. And that's where we.
The undead is kind of the whole point of this campaign. And if you're sick of it, imagine how the rest of the players feel. They've been dealing with it for over 4 years, almost 4 years.
Oh, I'm not so good. I'm just saying that's what it is.
I guess it is. It's over 4 years. Because
What, earlier in October that we started?
it was December of 17 when we started. Because so I guess this December would be 5 years. Am I counting that right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, that's a long time, guys.
Yeah, it is.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Well, my screen went black, so I had to make sure I was still connected to people.
I hear you. Okay, so what are you doing?
I guess we straightened up our camp from having lunch and get ready to go on. But I believe that's up to Iriana because she's leading us.
Yeah, we can do that. Get off after lunch and then head out and keep trying to make it to up to the rhyme guard or the question mark here, since knowing that the cats are sent to follow us won't really, or the cat, sorry, sent to follow us won't really help us figure out who or why.
Okay, go ahead and give me a. Well, I guess the screen going black was indication of more trouble than he thought. Welcome back.
His computer saw that he brought others home and where he was talking about others and it got mad at him
He got jealous.
extremely.
Oh my God, have you guys ever seen the movie Jexy?
Did my question come through?
Nope.
Nope.
What was your question? Hello?
I'm thinking more like, I haven't seen that, but I'm thinking like Christine, the car. Halloween's coming up and He's talking about getting 3 new computers, and his computer's going, "Oh yeah? You think so, do you? Well, guess what? I got a mind of my own."
Yeah, Sky, I think you especially would appreciate the movie Jexy. It's totally up your
How do you
sense of
spell it?
humor. Huh?
How do you spell it?
Jexi. It's in Discord. But I watched it and it was weird, but I couldn't help but laugh through like 90% of it. But it's definitely your type of sense of humor. Your type of humor. So, Rogar, are you going to answer that question again, or can you not hear us now, or what's going on? Hello, Kenny. Rogar. Illikin, whatever character you want to be called by. Take that as a no. Technical difficulties. So much fun.
How large is this cat we've that I've seen twice now?
Pretty big. Um, like a large lion.
Okay, cool.
Only with 6 legs. Big cat.
Trying to do a math equation in my head. I hate math.
A math equation?
Yep.
Dare I ask?
Probably not.
Okay. Okay, so I guess we gotta wait for whatever Rogar's question was, because... Yeah. He's not even in Discord at all anymore.
Yeah.
Or Roll20. He's like completely gone.
Probably restarting his computer.
Where he's lying on his floor with a Blu-ray disc sticking out of his neck.
Because his computer got pissed.
Yep.
There he is. Maybe. Or not. Hello? Hello? I think your computer's playing with us.
Hello?
Hi. You can talk. Can you hear? Take that as a no. Hello?
Anybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hearing anybody?
Just out of curiosity, Sky, why are you so offended that I made a good Ilaria with dogs and a bad Ilaria with cats?
Offended.
That's what you said
Oh.
in Roll20 chat.
Is that was offensive or that I was offended?
Says, OMG, the DM made a good Ilaria with dogs and a bad Ilaria with cats. ... I'm offended.
I was more being facetious.
Gotcha.
Everybody's cats are evil. Or evil. Cats block away evil. It's like nobody's seen the mummy. Evil is scared of kitty cats.
Well, it had nothing to do with good or evil. It was just honestly, it was convenient. I'd already started
Makes
talking.
sense.
I'd already started talking about the six-legged hunting cats on the island, and it just seemed appropriate that, you know, Ilaria would have cats now instead of dogs, because cats are readily available. And her dogs are not.
Makes sense. I'm good. I'm good. Real question is
Any good?
Rogar good?
Right? Rogar, can you hear us now?
No.
Yeah, they're all the. Hey, someone should be talking here so that when he changes stuff, he can hear it right away instead of believing that it's still wrong.
Good point.
Talkie, 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 talkie. We're still recording. Well, crap. Talkie, 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 talkie.
That's okay.
There we go.
Oh, you can hear us now.
Yes. I had to go in sound, and then because of all the stuff, I reset it as my primary. For some reason, It's trying to go through something else. I don't even know what it is. So it
Well,
took me a little bit. Sorry about that, guys.
that's okay. You just gotta pay us back for the last half hour. That's all.
Don't worry about it. I'll listen to the video and catch up what I missed.
We pretty much stopped when you stopped being able to hear us.
Yeah,
Okay.
we thought your question that you had was detrimental, and we didn't know what it was, so we were waiting on it.
Yeah.
I asked, do we want to go after? We want to find her? Or do we want to go to our next location?
We want to continue going where we were heading, and
Thought we were going to the question mark.
I think we were trying to go to Rheingard without exactly knowing where it is or however, because we got lost halfway-ish the first part, the first day or whatever.
Okay. Roll 20. Back to the Lich.
Her map doesn't have the question mark, right? This has home and Rheingard.
Correct. And the
We
enchanted
just
pond,
we
which you got it off
yeah
of the. Well, you got the question mark off of the one that was attached to the wall in the treasure room,
gotcha. Okay.
the quote unquote treasure room. Um, but you guys aren't aware of their. Other than that, you have no other knowledge of what might be there. Outside of that and the stories that Bryn told, or relayed from her grandfather. Okay, so I guess we're continuing now, since
Yeah.
okay. And I remember Iriana was leading.
Yeah. And head out.
Okay, go ahead and give me a survival check.
I'll help.
Apparently with advantage. Very good. Okay, and you're heading out from lunch, so you have about 6 hours or so, 5 hours
Yeah.
of travel time. And if I remember, I did not move this forward during the day. Um, let's see. Shortly after you start to move again, um, another bird shows up, lands on sky again. Just kind of sits there chirping almost conversationally at Sky. Sits on his shoulder, kind of hops up to the top of his head and back down to his shoulder.
I will keep working with the ration that I had and taking little pieces out and feeding it.
Okay.
And
And
And definitely and. Um. I will. Of course it does that. Why does it do that? I don't know. Whatever. Um. That's that at 3rd level. On the bird.
up to 8 hours. Wow. Okay. You cast a spell and you can feel it take effect. And as it does, the bird kind of chirps at you questioningly.
Give it more food. And smile.
It happily accepts it and doesn't argue. Um, okay, after about an hour or so, it flies off. Um, let's see. So you have advantage on perception or survival checks. Weren't you at one point? Didn't this basically just let you know where the target was? Did they change
Yeah,
that?
I thought. That's why I was casting it, was because I thought it would let me know where they were, not.
They must have changed the spell. That's lame. That's lame.
We retcon that then?
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have cast it on that.
Oh, I was just gonna. Actually, that's what I was basing the spell on too. So let's say it was. Yeah, the spell hasn't been changed. It just lets you know
Okay.
where they are, because that's
Yeah, because even that's the reason why I was going to pick it for my hunter, because I remember that being part of it when we used it in the other game. So it's got to be within the last 6 months.
yeah, that's
I've got my cards here. I want to see something. Hunter's mark.
okay. Well, you basically know where the bird is at, because that's the way I remember the spell. And that was the way I was running it for her. So. Um. Okay, Sky, as the bird lifts off, kind of slowly circles the party. Kind of lazily circles the party, I guess, would be more appropriate.
Hunter's marks always work that way.
Yeah, I just checked PHB. I've got a physical copy.
It's always
Yeah.
worked like this?
Yeah. Yeah, you have advantage on any wisdom or survival check you make to find it.
Might have been different on 3.5 and got that PHB downstairs, but
Huh. I just checked my PDF version, and I guess that's the way it works for that, too. Well, okay, we're gonna homebrew it for this, because that's not the way I was using it. And it seems unfair to let me use it one way and enforce it a different way for you guys. So basically, instead of giving you advantage, it just basically always lets you know where your target, your hunter's mark is.
Oh.
So basically, the bird kind of lifts off and kind of lazily circles the group and flies back towards the west. This guy, you kind of close your eyes and follow it. It's blip on the radar, so to speak. For the most part, it's a pretty straight pretty straight path towards the west. After about probably a little less than a mile, it kind of diverges a bit, flies a little bit to the north, where it stops. And it stops for about, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes. And then it flies south about 20 feet or so. And stops again. And that's where it seems to stay.
you said that was back to the northwest.
Essentially straight west of you. It does, right there towards the end, it does move a little bit north, like, 40, 50 feet. And then,
Something like that.
something like that, yeah.
Okay.
And then, once it stops at that location for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then flies back south. and seems to stay there. Does that make sense, or do I need to draw it out? Okay.
Nope. That's perfectly fine.
You're good.
Okay. Um. Let's see. How do I want to react to this nat 20 that Ariana got?
We're able to run at full speed for 50 miles and make it where we need to go.
I think that might be pushing it just a smidge.
Maybe.
Okay. As the sun starts to set, um, the party's kind of making their way through the forest, and um, you come up against the wall of the island, and everyone just kind of looks at each other and starts heading north. But Iriana, as you get there and you start heading north with everyone else, there's kind of this. You realize there's just something that's not making sense to you. Um, Something's just kind of scratching at that nerve that tells you something's wrong. And you think it over, and you're just kind of rolling the events of the pretty quiet afternoon. Incidentally, skies, you were visited by 2 more birds during the afternoon.
Lots of birds.
Yes. And they each stayed with you for about an hour. Um, Irina, I'm sorry. I'll continue with that. You're just kind of rolling the events of the quiet afternoon over and over in your head, and it suddenly clicks. This wall shouldn't be here. You shouldn't have reached the wall before sunset.
Which wall does it seem like we were at? Like this one here?
Um, you guys should be right there.
Wait,
But it seems like you're up against the east wall of the island.
this one here.
Yes. And it is starting to get dark as you guys are starting to follow that wall north. But you realize that you should not have reached the wall before sunset. It's
I will kind of keep leading everyone a bit, but stick my hand out toward the wall, try and push at it.
seems sturdy.
And how long have we been following this, or we just got to it?
Uh, a minute or two. You pretty much just got there just as the sun's starting to set. So it would be about time for you guys to start to take a camp or set up camp for the night.
Alright, and when we came up to this wall, we had been walking with like this south wall to our right the whole time. Was it kind of like a sharp curve or a gentle bend to it?
Um, Gentle bend. It just kind of turn north.
I will just say out loud that we made it to the wall here, but I'm not sure how we made it this far. The wall was, or I thought before, the wall was another maybe 20, 30 miles further to the east here, but it seems like this is that wall also.
So it looks like this. In our mind, anyways.
Sure.
I walk up and touch the wall to see if it's actually there.
As you do that, I will say that I thought that too, but and then I'll like knock on the wall. It seems pretty solid.
How dark is it? White. How dark is it?
Um, the sun is just going down, so it's not like middle of the day bright, but it's also not pitch black of night. It's sunset.
Well, no, the reason why I'm asking is one moment. Could I use that?
Yeah. For now,
Back. See if I can.
depends on where you're going.
I was going to fly up to the top of the wall. Dark.
Um, are you doing that now, or are you gonna wait until it gets dark?
That's why I was asking what the darkness was. I would wait until it's dark enough to use it. Because I assume I've had this long enough that I would know when it would be a risk, when it wouldn't.
Well, under the fog layer, you'd be safe using that now. But if you try to go above the fog layer, you might hit direct sunlight, which will probably cancel it and let you fall like 70 feet.
Okay, then I will wait until it's dark but I will discuss it with the others. Since you don't think it's the wall should be here by the map, uh, later tonight, see, I can see about see if there's something on the other side of the wall, or if what's possible here.
Yeah, that would work.
And
But,
I'll start going around looking for food in the area since we're setting up camp.
Okay, give me a survival check. What exactly are you looking for, Roker?
Uh, I'm looking for wild game, uh, food. Is there any vegetation so that I can make a good stew?
Okay. You look around and you do find some roots and some um, wild vegetables that um, they're not the most select of options, but they will certainly get the job done. Um,
Okay.
and you see the tracks of a. They look an awful lot like chicken tracks, only a bit larger. Um, you do follow the tracks, and after, I don't know, 45 minutes or so, you do um, come into this very small clearing, and you see a small axe beak, a little bit larger than a turkey, um, drinking from a small pond, very small pond, like it's more like a large puddle in the middle of this small clearing.
I'm gonna try to kill it for dinner.
Okay, give me an attack roll. That hits. Go and roll damage. Okay, axe beak just kind of lets out a startled squawk, looks down at the arrow sticking out of its side, and then looks up at you. It leans down, grabs the arrow with its beak, and pulls it out, and turns to face you.
try shooting it again.
Go for it.
Sorry. Wrong thing. Yeah, I missed that one.
Yeah, the arrow flies right over its head, and it kind of ducks as the arrow flies by, and it lets out this kind of angry growl, and starts to slowly move towards you. Very intent.
Try again since it's coming towards me.
Go for it. That is. Okay. The arrow plugs right into its chest, and it lets out a kind of a strangled cry of pain. And it stumbles a few times, and it reaches down with its beak and grabs the arrow, pulls it out as well, and looks at you again. This time, literally fuming. It's pissed, and it charges. Um, okay, it charges at you, tries to basically bite you with its beak, and it completely misses in its rage. And it tries again. And again, completely misses. It just can't seem to get a hold of you. What do you want to do?
It's close now, right?
Yeah, it's close enough to bite you.
Sorry, wrong one. First one doesn't count because it's a two-hand.
They all hit.
Is there going to be anything left for dinner?
Well, once it dies, I'm not going to keep hitting it. That's not.
Okay, it dies with the first strike. See, I guess your hammer comes down on it, and it just, you hear this crunch as the bones just kind of snap underneath the weight of your hammer, and you smell this burning scent of fire, of burning feathers, as you look down, and there is a dead axe beak in front of you, a little bit larger than a turkey.
I pick up the axe beak and the herbs I picked up, or the plants I picked up when I was doing my hunt, and I walk back to camp, start a fire, and set about going about making good stew.
Okie doke.
While he's out, I'm gonna try and find a campsite with a bit of an alcove kind of area to it, to something that we can tuck ourselves back that only kind of has an opening.
Okay, give me a survival check. Okay. Kind of rewind time a moment. As Rogar walks off to hunt for some food, or I guess hunt down some food. I guess he did hunt food. So anyway, as Rogar goes off to find food, you kind of look back and forth, up or I guess north and south, up and down the wall, and not seeing anything, not seeing what you're looking for within sight. Um, you kind of make your way north a little bit along the wall, and after about, I don't know, 45 feet or so, um, you do happen to find a nice little alcove in the wall. It kind of tucks itself in about 15, 20 feet. It's about 20 feet wide and leaves just one side open to any attack or creatures or anything like that.
Sounds like a good place.
It's exactly what you were looking for.
That kind of sounds
Exactly.
ominous. That kind of sounds like room of requirement of yeah, could be
It
bad.
it's it is exactly what you were imagining in your mind when you started to look for it, Sky. Right down to the shape of the rocks.
And how long did that take him to find?
About as long as it took him to walk 45 feet north. So
8 seconds.
about a minute. Why do you ask, Ariana?
I was just gonna try and recall what Bryn said, my grandfather, or what he's found this place to look like.
Uh, you mean the strange cave opening that he found?
Yeah.
Um, he had said that there was, uh, an opening, a cave that he found that inside were some ruins. But, he found it once and he wasn't able to find that cave. He didn't have the supplies with him that he needed to explore the cave. So
Yeah.
he left with the intent to return, only he wasn't able to find it again. And he did find it again one other time, um, which was actually the time that he was able to find the ruins inside it. The first time he didn't explore far enough to find the ruins.
Does anyone have true seeing?
I sure do.
Iriana has true seeing at all times.
All times, forever, and always. Up to like 120 feet. Is it 60 feet? 60 feet.
I'm just wondering if maybe true seeing might let us know if this is an illusion.
It might,
It
yeah.
it would tell you if it were an illusion. Um, However, it does not appear to be.
Uh, and this is just kind of like a cave that he found. That Sky found.
This little alcove in the rock.
Yeah, like an alcove cave. Does it go in anywhere? Or it's just a little opening.
It's just a little opening. Just basically like a little cul-de-sac in the rock.
Yeah. I'll just try asking Bryn if her grandfather ever described the ruin or the look at the outside of the cave where he found the ruins at all.
If he described it as any more than a cave, um, I don't recall. Um, all I picked up was that it was a cave. Unfortunately, I was much younger then and not quite as detail oriented.
Yeah, that's understandable. I'll kind of walk, uh, another 50 feet north or a bit further north along the wall, thinking about a cave or a cavern.
Okay. Okay. You walk north. You see the trees, typical trees. I mean, there's even some growing right out of the rock, but no caves or cabins. Just you see.
Alright, I will just going to head back to where Sky is and wait for dinner to be made.
Okay. About the time you come back, you hear um, Rogar return to where you started out, and you can tell he's kind of looking around because everyone's gone. Because you guys moved camp while he left, or while he was gone.
And I can see him.
Well, you can probably hear him
I'll
calling.
just call out to
calling.
him, Rogar, over here.
I follow the sound. Still looking around like, why'd you guys move?
Yeah, it's easy enough for you guys to hook back up. I just thought it was funny that you guys moved camp while he was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought we were becoming friends, man. Yeah, so what'd you guys find?
Got a little alcove here in the wall that might be a little bit safer for us.
Nice. I got us dinner. I show
Oh,
him a deadbeat or a breakbeat.
yeah, that's great. I'm sure Sky can make up something good with it.
Sorry, reading something. I shall.
Okay. Well, you want to tell us what you make for dinner, Sky?
Oh boy. Something different. That's for sure. Axe bake 4 nights in a row. Kind of vegetables did he get? Roots or leafies or?
For lack of better description, essentially, wild potatoes and some wild carrots and um, let's say some sort of lettuce, maybe, I guess, or onions. I don't know. Make it up. I'll let you decide what he picked up, as long as it's not too crazy.
Crazy.
Oh, no magical beetroot.
If that's what he needs to make his awesome meal, then I guess you could get beetroot. I don't know about magical, but
You got that.
Um, 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 um.
I just love hearing what he comes up with.
Yeah, except that I wasn't ready um for this, so I didn't even think about it. Let's go with. I already did mashed potatoes, so I will chop up the carrots and the greens and slice slice the slice a small wedge out of the potato and kind of push enlarge kind of the potato with the rest of the greens, kind of like a twice baked potato kind of thing.
Okay.
Um, and put them in a pan over the fire with the lid on it, and then we'll grill the axe beak with some sage and some parsley, and I will put the slices of axe beak out on plates, and then put the potato centered on each axe beak steak.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Do you have a name for this?
No clue.
Okay.
Dude.
I went to my I went to my recipe thing, and I'm like going down, and I'm like I can't find anything that I want.
Grilled axe beak steaks with twice baked vegetarian potatoes and olive sky. That works.
Yeah, that's fine. Probably.
Sounds good to me. Okay, so you guys enjoy a gourmet campsite meal. Um, And does anyone want to do any professions?
No, I don't have any.
Blazem, do we still have some diamond dust available?
Was it this game that you guys had Diamond Dust?
I think so.
I think so too, because I know in the other one we haven't even got it yet.
The other one we needed it for Agris and could never find diamonds.
He had Diamond Dust. He had Diamond Dust and Enchanter's Dust when he left. I guess technically Verheist had the Enchanter's Dust, but I don't know. Do you see anything, Dan? Or Latham?
No, I don't know. Things around here look kind of strange. Like maybe there's somebody obscuring it from us?
I was actually referring to the Diamond Dust, but
I know.
okay. I don't see any Diamond Dust in there. There are
No,
two diamonds, though.
there's no diamond dust in the bag of holding.
Can we crush a diamond? How much are the diamonds worth?
Those diamonds, diamonds are worth 250 gold each. But I don't know if we have any way to crush them. Because diamonds are pretty hard stuff.
So, DM, is there a way that we can crush the diamonds? That we would know of? Because obviously it's able to happen since there is powdered diamond.
Yeah, as an alchemist, wait. Crap, I'm confusing the games again. Is anyone in the party an alchemist?
No, just tinker.
Not an alchemist. I wish I was.
See, that was... Must have been Dorinda who's alchemist, and Opal who's alchemist in this party.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Did you say Dorinda?
Yep.
Yeah, Dorinda in the Margrave game and Opal in this game.
Okay. I'm like, Dorinda's not in this one. What are you
A tinker would probably be able to do it.
Then I will attempt to do it.
Okay, go and give me a tinker tools check.
Need 200 gold.
Using a witch stat.
Um, I'll let you use either intelligence or wisdom.
That's an easy choice.
Yeah, I was kind of figuring it would be.
That's not a good
Ouch.
check.
Yeah, that's a bad check.
Well, it's still a 12.
Um, Ariana, roll a d20. Okay. You're in the middle of breaking this diamond down. Well, I'll assume you don't try to do both at once. You're in the
Probably
middle.
not.
You're in the middle of breaking this diamond down. Um, sorry. You're in the middle of breaking down this diamond when your diamond your tools actually break. So um, they are broken beyond repair and will have to be replaced before you can tinker again.
Alright.
Um, and you are sitting at about 100 gold worth of diamond dust and a number of diamond chunks worth about 150.
And how would I go about repairing the Tinker's tools?
Um, you would have to have another set of tinker's tools to repair them. So
Alright. I will get that dust and tend to look over at Lazem and ask, you don't happen to have a set of tools in the bag of holding, do you?
No, I'm afraid not.
And I'll turn to Sky and hand over the dust that I have and say that this is all I was able to get before, and hold up the broken tools.
Well, thank you for trying.
Yeah, not a problem. We can.
We can hold on to it and
Yeah.
maybe use it for something else.
Yeah, that'll probably have to be it.
Sorry about that.
That's fine. In that case, I'm just waiting for food then.
Okay. Out of curiosity, Sky, what's the powdered diamond for?
Flip of warding.
Ah.
Because, my spell that I can't change out that I got for Gloomstalker had to have a material cost to it.
That sucks. I'm sorry.
Is what it is. I had this whole thing worked out, and I was like, okay, I can do this, and 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 I looked, and I'm like, oh crap, I need diamond dust. Well, shit. So instead, I will cast Alarm outside of the alcove for anybody but us.
Okay. Well, that's not a bad spell.
After eating, and after it gets dark, I'll start my flight up.
Okay. You have access to a bat stat block, right?
Yes.
Okay. Um. Okay, go ahead and give me a perception check, or if there's no perception, then wisdom check.
I keep my in my bat form. 1 second. Intelligence, wisdom, and charisma scores.
With polymorph?
Yes, I do. 1 second. Let me repost it for you. Is that part of the spell?
Hmm. It's unusual for polymorph. It's more like a druid shapeshift. But okay.
Yeah, that's how the item's actually worded.
Give me a moment here. Okay, so Rogar, you change into your bat form, and what are you doing? Explain to me what you're doing here.
I'm flying straight up or as best I can with tree coverage and all that.
Yeah.
But to the top of the wall,
Okay.
and then I'm going to fly to the east to see how thick the wall is, or if I go into the ocean, or is it a mountain? What is it in this area? Because the map shows one thing, but we see something different. But we also know that there was a question mark uh, on the wall, or from the area, and so my curiosity is piqued. Or is this the question mark because there's a wall here that shouldn't be here?
Um. Sorry, I'm answering another question in chat or Discord.
Okay.
Um, okay, you fly up to the top of this wall, and you look out east, and as far as you can tell, um, the wall kind of slopes down to a beach and then off into the water. Um, like you would expect to see on the rest of, any other direction on this island. Um, you're not seeing this part right here. It just, along this wall, it just looks like
I get you.
okay.
The question I have is how thick is the wall that I do see?
How thick is the wall?
Yes. Let me explain. While you're thinking about it, let me explain the question. We found a hole in the wall.
Well, it's
A
not really
cave.
it's just like a little alcove in the wall.
Okay, the alcove in the wall. Does the wall that I'm looking at exceed the distance of the alcove? Or does it okay, you see it and it just, is there anything that I can.
You don't see anything that looks unnatural.
All right.
It looks like it slopes naturally down to a beach and then off into the water, like you would expect it to. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
I, after I do a circle around the area to see if there's anything else I can see, I go back to the party and I tell them what I see or what I saw up top. It appears this wall, and as I change back into human form, and I pull up, I ask to see the map, and then as they roll it out, I say, okay, this is what I saw. This wall seems to go like this as far as you can see it, but it appears to just end here. This section of land isn't there. It's sea. There was nothing that I saw that was abnormal other than knowing that the map shows one thing and my comprehension of what I see is another. If I didn't have the map, I wouldn't even think there was something wrong. But as we have a map of the drawn area, there's an issue that no one knows. I don't know about, and I don't know how to. I don't know what it could be. It didn't look like an image. It didn't look like it was not an image, but a mirage. It looked real.
I'll kind of muse out loud. Has anything, have there been any big, like volcanic eruptions or anything that would change the earth around here in the last couple hundred years?
Give me a history check. And Iriana, I think you would probably have advantage on this.
13.
Crap, I gotta push the button. You recall some recordings or historical records of volcanic activity or earthquakes, that type of stuff in the Sea of Dragons, but nothing that is nothing that should have been strong enough to alter an island in such a drastic way.
All right. Then I will mention that, say that I had a loss as to how this could have happened unless the map is somehow wrong. Does anyone have a map or know of a map of this island from sailors or something?
Have we compared the map that was on the wall to the map that she held?
Yes, you did.
Were they exact same?
Yes. The map on the wall is actually where you got the large blue question mark. And anyone who has experience... I see you asked about sailors, Iriana, so I guess...
Yeah.
Rogar, you're welcome to give me a history check. Because you said that you spent a lot of time on ships, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and give me a
No,
history
no, I
check.
was trying to learn how to ships. I wouldn't.
I'm sorry?
I spent the entire sailing here trying to learn how to be on ship or learn all this stuff.
Okay, well, go ahead and give me a history check. See if you can remember from your time looking over navigation charts.
Okay.
And I can give one also.
Sure. Rogar, you're not remembering anything of help either way. Your Honor, as far as you remember from looking at the charts, the part of the island to the east of here should be present. There should be a pretty good sized, probably another day's worth of travel between you and the wall. And yeah, um, as far as you know, that was the most current charts available.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. It seems the island's wrong or something's happening on the island, but no clue what it is.
For the record, Bryn and Aiden are convinced that you guys are mistaken and that you guys are just at the edge of the island and you guys just aren't as correct in your positioning on the island as you think you are. So they are just watching you guys discuss this and they just think you guys are wrong. Keep in mind they were completely lost when you found them, so take that with a grain of salt. Just thought I should throw that out there.
Looking at my skills to see if there's anything that I can do other than what I've done.
Okay, so you guys just want to call it a night then, or
Yeah, I think so.
okay?
I'll pull first shift.
Okay, I'm assuming Sky wants last shift like usual.
Correct. An hour before we're about to hit the sack, I want to see if I can rig a trap to the outside of the alcove and see if Lazem in his roguishness can help me with this.
I'll try.
Okay. I guess survival with advantage.
What I'm hoping to do is do like a rope trap, like if someone was to try and cross into our alcove, that it would drop some rocks and some poison.
Is in rocks covered in poison, or like a poison cloud, or
I have the that one. I just sent to you. position the poison within the rocks so that as it drops, it kind of probably going too far in my mind imagination with this, but um, so that when it drops, it like breaks the vial over the rocks and hopefully injures the creature that is curious.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Go ahead and give me a survival check with um advantage. Good thing you had advantage. And the advantage was from Lazem's assistance.
Yep. I'll explain to everybody else what I did and to not go outside the alcove. Or rather, what we did. Not to go outside the alcove due to risk of the rope.
Alright. We will try to avoid going outside.
I say okay. I did want to try something before going to bed or before starting my shift.
Okay, what's that?
A divine sense. I know it only does creatures, but just in case I feel something behind that wall. And while I'm trying this, I'm praying to my God. Please, please, please explain what my eyes are seeing and my lack of knowledge of how one thing can show one, another can show, and the physical show something else.
Unfortunately, you don't detect anything celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet of you.
Okay.
Um, and you do not receive response from a Stillabore.
Okay.
Or fortunately, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad I don't feel anything that could get me killed, so I'm okay with that. Still happy that she's allowed me to, be in her faith, and I'm doing good, but let's hope for an answer.
Okay, so oh, Sky, with Latham's help, you're able to set up um a fairly elaborate tripwire using natural building blocks from your surroundings, um, vines and leaves and small boulders and such. Um, and you create a rock fall, which is conveniently hidden very nicely in the wall above the entrance. And as basically designed so that as something trips your tripwire, the rocks will fall onto the entrance or into the entrance, crushing a vial of this poison of frailty and basically spreading it all over the creature that tripped the wire. And if anything happens, we will see how that works out.
I sensed anything on the bird. Any other movement past where it had gone?
Um, it has moved numerous times throughout the day, but never more than 20, 25 feet from that location. Um, okay, I guess if you guys are gonna bed down for the night, go ahead and give me. Rogar, you said you're taking first watch, right?
Taking first watch.
Okay, go ahead and give me a survival check for your watch. I'm sorry, perception check, not survival.
Yeah, can I tell you what my plan is during my break, my lunch? Or yeah, my lunch, my shift.
Your watch, go for it.
Uh, since I'm not gonna leave the in cove, since they set out this allure trap, I'm gonna explore the enclave or the arcade. I know it's not, but you know, I'm gonna explore it, see if I can find anything that's, you know, PotL. So
There, it's not really a whole lot to explore. It's about 20 feet deep, maybe 20 feet wide. The entrance is like maybe a little over 5 feet wide.
yeah, yeah.
It's literally just an alcove in the rock.
Okay, that's all I'm gonna do since I don't want to leave and set off traps or anything, and just listen for the trap to be sprung if it happens. But
Okay.
that's what I do the entire, just feel along the walls, check anything, when I find anything out, that's what I do.
Okay, there's nothing to find, so. Okay. During your watch, um, you do hear a noise from somewhere out in the distance, off to the west. Um, it's the roar of a hunting cat and the sudden um, death shriek of some creature, probably an axebeak. And then um, all the wildlife and insects go quiet for a moment, and after 2 or 3 minutes, kind of slowly um, start making noise again. Um, oh crap! It was supposed to be raining all day too, wasn't it? I completely forgot about that. Oh well. Um, it stopped raining.
Perfect.
The rain that you guys have been dealing with all day, you're just so used to dealing with it that you didn't even recognize it was there until it suddenly stops.
Right.
Okay, okay. um, yeah. Other than the hunting cat off in the distance, um, way too far to be a threat to your little campsite. At least at the moment, anyway. Give it a few hours, you never know. Um, yeah. Other than that, your watch is pretty quiet.
Okay. I'll wake up after it gets quiet again. I wake up the next person on the shift. Who was that again?
Nobody volunteered, so you get to pick.
Uh, I walk over. I know that guy is taking last watch, so I walk over, tap Lazen's foot by Damba, and wait for them to wake up and let them know that it's been quiet. Heard mountain lion or something loud beast, something like it. It's, another animal being killed, but that was far enough away. It really wasn't. Didn't really catch, and been quiet ever since. Felt around the cave there, didn't feel anything that was different. So it's been a quiet night and all. Hope you have a quiet night as well. And as soon as he's fully awake, I walk over and crash.
Okay. So, Latham, go ahead and give me a perception check for your watch.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yes, I'm more awake than I feel, but that's probably good. I go around, stir up the fire a little bit. Then I take up a post on a rock where I can see the whole entrance, but I'm not in it. And then we'll wait and see where it goes from there.
Okay. Okay. During your watch, um, it's pretty quiet. It starts out pretty quiet. As you approach about the middle of your watch, you hear this flapping sound of a small creature, and after a few moments, you see this small dark creature come flying into the alcove, and it flies into the wall and just kind of clings to the wall. And you hear kind of a loud screeching noise. From it. Well, I guess it's not really all that loud, but it does kind of screech for a moment or two. And it settles down and it's kind of seems to hang upside down. Just from right there on the wall. And it's just hanging there. And it's unless you do something, it's still hanging there as your watch comes to a close.
Well, I look at it, and it doesn't seem to be bothering anything. And it certainly didn't set off the alarm when it came through the opening.
Yeah, it's too small.
Yeah. So, as long as it's quiet and pretty stationary, I just leave it alone. And when
it lets out a kind of a little screech every 10-15 minutes. But it's nothing that's going to wake anyone. It's just a little screech.
sounds like a small bat.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm thinking I'll just leave it unless it starts causing trouble, and we can deal with it when we've got daylight.
Okay. It's still hanging there when your watch comes to an end, then.
All right. And so then I go over and I shake Sky and say, "It's your watch." I say, "There's a small bat that came through the opening and is hanging over there upside down. It squeaks every now and then, but other than that, it doesn't seem to be a problem." So
Sounds good.
uh, with that, I'll go crawl into my bedroll and take a nap.
Dumbo lays down with you and kind of looks up at the bat one last time and kind of huffs and lays his head down. And he kind of keeps his eyes on the bat as long as he stays awake, which isn't very long. And it's not long before he's snoring as well. It's not very long before he's snoring as well. Sky, go ahead and give me your rolls for your watch.
Go all the way back to the back of the little alcove and flip my mirror and try and hide.
Okay. Damn. I find it amusing that you cannot get below a 23 in stealth.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I find it awesome.
But I think, considering your character, I think that's appropriate, so.
Oh, definitely.
Okay. Okay, wow, the one night that you guys actually prepared for it, I didn't roll high enough for the cat to visit. Sorry, Sky. I was kind of excited to see how that played out. Okay, shortly after Damba starts snoring, the bat on the wall kind of, screeches and takes off and starts flapping around the alcove, circling it 2 or 3 times, and then flies out the opening off towards the west.
I find it a little peculiar that when we were first looking at this alcove, that we didn't see any guano.
You didn't.
Does that mean that bat is either a I don't know, something else besides a bat, or maybe it was just summoned?
That is a possibility that you will have to discuss once you have awoken. But the bat disappears off into the west. Sky, you are able to hear outside this alcove. You can hear something moving around out there. It seems fairly good sized, but you're not able to actually see it due to the fact that you do have a campfire between you and it, and the alcove is got a pretty narrow opening compared to the alcove itself and the outside, obviously.
The question. I thought he bouldered it up.
No, he set up a trap, a tripwire, basically, to cause boulders to fall
Okay.
in the opening.
Thank you. That's what I was.
But nothing has crossed that tripwire as yet.
No, I thought he. I misunderstood what he was saying. So in my mind, that's why I was asking for clarification.
Okay. You can hear something out there, but nothing seems to approach. Sky. And you can't really make out what it is. Though you are more than welcome to make assumptions. Yeah, the rest of your watch is, for the most part, uneventful. Nothing particularly interesting happens outside of hearing the noise of something moving around outside on occasion. Before dawn, it disappears, and dawn approaches, and your watch ends.
I will flip my mirror back over and start waking people back up. And I will go and remove the poison and remove the rope from the trap. And obviously, take the rocks out so that I don't kill myself.
Yeah, so nobody trips it. Gotcha. Okay. So you dismantle the trap. Yeah. You guys wake up and it's morning. Go ahead.
I ask, does anybody have any way of determining magic?
You don't have any way of determining what?
Determining magic.
Like seeing if there's magic around?
Yeah.
Like Sky has? Or,
Or as what are we trying to see?
yeah, I have a way.
Depends on what you're looking for.
That, that was
Because
that,
there are
that's
no.
his question. It's an opening. It's an open-ended, question, and he's looking at the wall in the cave around us. So it's like, well, we've done the look, we've done the feel.
Okay, so are you
Yeah,
trying to determine if something is an illusion or if something is something specifically magical or what?
that's the whole. It's an open question. It's not a. Well, I want you to do. It's more of an open question of you guys interpret it however you want. He has
Yes,
no
we
idea.
can.
We'll say yes, we can.
And if so, see if this is where we're at, or if there's anything that is, however you do it, seeing if that's around us.
I
Don't
will
you
say
think
that
you're getting awfully meta in this?
No,
There's a lot of meta going around everywhere, but
Yeah.
I mean that's aside the fact.
Mm-hmm. It just seems like, you know, in front of your face, you've seen the map and you've gone to the effort to try and look at the wall and everything. I think you're getting a little bit too involved in deciding that something is not the way you perceive it, and you're bound and determined to find a way to prove it.
I'm playing my character as my character.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's doing. He's confused.
I will just. I'll mention that it's not an illusion. I'd be able to tell that by looking at it. But there might be some other sort of magic going on. If you'll just give me 10 minutes, I can see if there's any magical effects nearby. Then I'll spend some time ritual casting detect magic.
Okay. Um, 10 minutes go by and the spell takes effect.
And are there any magical effects?
Um, outside of the characters themselves, um, how do I do this? You are seeing an aura of magic um, over the island itself. Everything seems to be affected by some sort of magic. Um, hmm. The wall itself doesn't seem to be affected by anything more than the rest of the island. If that's what you're looking for specifically.
Yeah.
Um, and as far as type of magic, um, it's a kind of magic you don't have a whole lot of experience with called chronoturgy.
Right.
Um, basically, a magic that is based in manipulating time.
Yeah.
Actually,
All right.
I should hit that. It's chronergy and graviturgy. So it's chronergy, not chronoturgy. Sorry,
Yeah.
but you got the reference, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, the wall doesn't appear to be under any additional magical effect else than the rest of your environment.
All right.
And for the record, you would have seen this magical effect any previous time that you used detect magic as well.
Yeah.
I just didn't mention it. Shame on me. Sorry.
AFK.
Okay.
It's fine.
We've actually been playing for a while, so why don't we actually go ahead and take a break? A few minutes.
All right.
We'll use restroom, get drinks, snacks, stretch, whatever you need to do. Garlic, scorpion, bacon popcorn?
No, not popcorn. Bacon
Oh, just bacon. Gotcha.
instead of popcorn.
Okay. That makes a little more sense. So is it like, just like chopped up bacon or strips of bacon or what?
Strips of bacon from Costco. I just put scorpion pepper sauce down with garlic flakes, and then I put the bacon down, and then I poured more scorpion pepper sauce on top, and then garlic powder, and then cooked it.
I'm
Sounds
back.
good. Welcome back. Is everyone else here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys are just waking up. Um, Iriana casts a detect magic as a ritual and has been looking around. You saw
Yeah.
the essentially temporal magic on the entire island. Um, but other than that, you're not seeing any other specific magic.
All right.
Um, yeah, I think Latham was wanting to discuss something last night when he was actually asleep. I don't know if he still wants to bring that topic up. Um,
What topic would that be?
the no,
Topic
no,
that you
the
meted while you were sleeping.
the no guano and the
Oh yeah,
that thing.
yeah. It did. It just struck me that if this cave is here all the time, there should be guano on the floor. And I mean, you got one batch, you're going to have more. So it just strikes me as odd. But I guess eventually we'll get uh, some answers, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. Well, with everyone waking up in the morning, I sorry, I will pack up and wait for everyone else to pack up, and just say we should keep heading north and east to the Rhyme Guard. We can hopefully make it before the end of the day.
Seems like a pretty far trek yet to make it today. But who knows? I'll pack up my gear and I'm ready to go.
I'm ready.
Okay. Um, Whoever's leading, go ahead and give me a survival check.
Probably me.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, you guys start heading north, following the wall. Um. How do I do this? I spent the entire break trying to determine how I was going to handle this with everyone, expecting you guys to roll high, as you guys usually do. How do I do this
Sometime.
with you rolling low?
I mean, I've rolled low a lot tonight. Just rolled high like twice.
Yeah, but with your bonuses, even a low roll is usually fairly decent. I mean, sub 10 is unusual.
Well, look at your roll. You got a 1 on a D12.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a d20. I clicked the wrong one. That's why I rolled another d20. Um, Thing is, it's kind of hard to get lost if you're just following the wall.
That's provided the wall's going where you think it's going.
True. Okay, you guys head north following the wall, and after about an hour and a half, you come to this it's kind of medium-sized clearing, large clearing maybe. Um, it has a very small waterfall kind of trickling down the wall into this pond that kind of breaks off into a stream that goes off into the forest off to the west. Um, the pond is probably 45 feet across. So it's pretty good sized. So I guess it's more of a little more than a pond, I guess. Like a small lake, I guess. Um, are you guys gonna try to just go across it, or around it, or what? Or do you guys want to stop? It's about 2 hours into your travel at this point.
And it's you said there's kind of a waterfall along the wall, and then like a 45-foot diameter lake or pond or pool of water of unknown depth.
Yes. Um, the trickle down the water, the waterfall is barely more than a trickle. Um, it's certainly no rushing waterfall. Um, yeah, I don't really know how to explain it. It's it's not providing an abundant amount of water. It's yeah, it's a small waterfall.
Is it feeding the pond?
Yeah, it's going into the pond.
Is it the only source of water going into the pond?
Give me a perception check. As far as you can tell, it is the only source of water going into the pond.
All right.
Where's the water? It's coming from the wall, right?
Yeah, the waterfall is pouring down over the wall.
How far up?
It goes you look up, and as far as you can tell, it starts beyond the fog layer. You can't really see the top.
The reason I ask is when I did my flyby the day before, or the night before,
Yes.
would I assume that the water's coming from nowhere?
I'm sorry.
Or
Assume what?
the water's coming from nowhere, or that it would come from where the went down, went over. I expect to see, like you said last night, but the water, in my mind, I saw it being, towards the ground. Or, yeah, I can see where that water's coming in from the ocean.
We've been walking about 2 hours, so we're a good few miles north of where we were last night.
Yeah, so you wouldn't have been able to see where this is at last night.
Okay. I do reach over and I do something stupid and taste the water.
It appears fresh and clear. Tastes like fresh, clean water.
Okay. I let everybody know that there's no trace of salt.
So
Fresh water here.
we have fresh water coming over a cliff with the ocean on the other side of it in a place that we're not thinking that the wall should be. But it is.
Yes. My question, not my question, my thought is that maybe it's not the ocean we see on that I saw on the other side, but a lake.
I'm gonna cast Dispel Magic on the waterfall.
Okay, before I say how that goes, walk me through your logic real quick, Sky. What's making you think Dispel Magic will do anything?
I have no idea if it will do anything, but my process is yesterday we came upon a wall that shouldn't be where it is based on the map, but it is. Talking through this with Ariana, it's not an illusion. So if it is a physical wall and Rogar went up and verified that just like where we entered this area, there was a beach, there was the ocean, the sea, whatever, and then a sheer drop off. But we have fresh water flowing from. We don't know where it's coming from, but it's flowing from somewhere above the fog line, which doesn't seem right if there's salt water outside this island. So something is messed up.
Okay. Um. Let me read this real quick.
While he's casting this, I'm gonna say because I don't know what he's dispelling or anything. This is what I was saying before. Unless there is a lake on the other side of this wall, and this the question mark, there's a lake there and something inside the lake that's not on the map. To where this wall could originally be here because her father found that opening we were in several years ago and couldn't find it. So this wall was always here, it's just not documented anywhere. And there's a lake on the other side. And then there's another wall that goes on, and then the ocean on the other side of it. As he's washing off his face with the water.
Um, Sky, go and roll me a spellcasting ability check. I'm not sure what. See, is that a racial? That would be charisma.
Yeah, I believe so. There. Yes, it's through Drow High Magic, which is Charisma.
Okay, go and give me a charisma ability check.
At advantage?
Afraid not. Um. Okay, nothing seems to happen. You cast a spell and the magic attempts to take hold, but it falters and fizzles. Keep in mind that everything on the island is affected by that chronergy magic as well. I feel like I'm pronouncing that wrong.
We know what you're trying to say, at least.
Temporal magic. Okay. You've got um Sky attempting to cast a spell. Rogar is playing in the water. Lazem is looking around. What are you doing, Ariana?
I will walk around to the other side of the water. Just see if there's anything different on the other side.
Okay. To get around to the other side, you'll have to walk out of view of your party. Is that okay?
Are there like trees along the edge, or
Yeah, the lake, I guess, extends probably. It's basically like a wide river at this point. It's not really. I'm not doing a very good job of describing this pool of water. Um, it's kind of like a wide river that um, swims down into a little stream as it
okay.
goes towards the east or west. Um, so it starts out about 45 feet wide, where the waterfall, little trickle of water is, and it slowly slims down within about 150 feet down to um, this little, you know, 3 or 4 foot wide stream that's going off towards the west. Does that sound like a good description? I hope I'm getting across what I'm imagining in my head.
Yeah.
Of course, since you can't see my head, you can't really tell me for sure whether I'm getting it across or not.
Even if I could see your head, I don't know if that I could see the imagination.
I said in my head. Um, this waterfall is probably less than a foot wide, and it's just trickling down the mountainside or the rock. So there's not really anything to go behind.
Okay.
So you still want to try to walk around to the other side? Iriana?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Yep.
Iriana walks down the river or the pool edge, about 150 feet out of range of the party. Kind of crosses the stream where it narrows and up the other side. Um, Roll a perception check, Ariana.
Woohoo!
Okay. As you walk up on the other side of this pool, river, whatever you want to call it, um, you're back up to seeing the waterfall and the wall of rock. But you don't see your friends across the river.
Don't see them at all?
Yeah, they don't seem to be there.
I will call out to them. Rogar, Sky, Lazem.
Do we hear him? Or her?
Um,
On the other side of that, do we see her on the other side of the? Would we see her on the other side?
give
Not
me
if we go out.
give me perception checks, you guys.
Everyone, or just them?
Just them, the three of them. Everyone but Ariana.
Yeah, my guy's too worried about the water.
Okay. Yeah, Rogar, you're paying attention to the water. Sky, you are looking off into the forest trying to make sure nothing sneaks up on you. Specifically look around for six-legged cats and birds with hunter's mark cast on them. Lazem, as you are standing there looking out over the water, just kind of looking around, trying to take it in, trying to understand what you're seeing. You hear a very faint call. Very faint. It's almost imperceptible over the sounds around you. And you hear Iriana calling out for the three of you. You don't actually see her across the water. You can just barely hear her calling out for the three of you.
Well, I turn in the direction that I hear the sound coming from. And with as much volume as I can muster, I call out, Ariana, over here.
Okay. Iriana, several moments after you call out, you do just barely hear Lazem shouting out to you.
Then I will spend time making my way back.
Okay.
Uh,
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, once I make it back, I will just say that this water seems to be much wider across than it looks.
Okay, before you get to that, what are you guys gonna do while Iriana is gone, other than yell to her and what I've already described? Because
Well,
it obviously takes her time to travel.
Yeah. I turn to the other two and I tell them first that I did hear her. And I called back, and I'm presuming she heard me. But this is, this isn't good. Don't know what the problem is, whether it's that the distance across this water is greater than we thought, or that there's some barrier that's blocking her call or her travel. But I think we need to do our best to rejoin her. But before we do that, I would like to try to cross this lake right here. I mean, how deep can it be? And besides that, I can swim. And we've got water breathing. So
Do you have water breathing with that, Ariana? Isn't Ariana the one that has it?
Yeah, I think so.
So maybe you don't have it.
No, I have 2 potions of water breathing in my
Ah,
uh,
okay.
in my bag.
Okay.
So it
Well, that's
wouldn't be.
solves 2 of the 4 of us.
Yeah, well, that's true, but
We'll go
if,
will offer to stay here if you guys want to swim across, in case she's coming back. But he's trying to figure out where she went to begin with to get over there.
mhm. Well, I don't know, but it just seems to me that just because we have water breathing doesn't mean we necessarily are going to have to use it. It's not like we're trying to dive to the bottom and walk across, if it's even that deep.
Okay.
I was just mentioning that because we do have the ability to use water breathing for a couple of us if we need to.
Like Aurora said, I said, you guys can go across. I'll stay here and see if she's here, because I never heard the voice, and I'm still interested in this water.
How far does it look to be across the pond again?
Looks like about 40 to 45 feet.
Can I throw a rock?
You are welcome to try.
Gonna pick up. Not a rock. Okay, a rock to me is a boulder to somebody else type of thing. So I'm gonna pick that up.
Yeah, give me an approximate size of this rock. Are we talking softball size? We talking basketball size?
Basketball size, a little bigger than basketball size.
Okay. Give me a athletics check. Okay. Um, you stand at the edge of the water.
Well, before I throw it, I'm gonna ask something.
Okay.
Uh, does somebody have light?
Light.
That they can turn this bright light. Figure he's level 18. He would know at least that spell in his travels.
Like the light cantrip, I think is what he's
Yeah.
referring to.
You know, I have dancing lights.
Same here, which doesn't really that creates lights that just are, but it doesn't light something. You would want the actual light cantrip, and I think the only one that has that again is our cleric, who is missing.
Is missing at the moment. Okay, then I will keep an eye on this boulder and ask everybody to look at it just for the time being, since there's no way to identify the boulder once I throw it. And I throw it across the lake to see if anything happens to the boulder as it travels across the lake.
Okay. What is your strength modifier? What is your strength?
20.
Okay. Okay. You reach back and you hold the boulder kind of like a shot put ball, and you spin and launch the boulder, and it arcs up into the air. Um, it arcs up into the air and starts to fly across, but takes a um, sharp nosedive about 30 feet out. And you've thrown stuff before. You know your own strength. It should have gone a lot further out than that.
The falling down, would it appear from what we're looking at it as if it hit a wall and fell? Or,
No.
you know,
It arced out, and it just didn't arc out as far as it should have.
okay.
Like it met some sort of resistance, but not so much solid resistance. It was kind of it just
Like
didn't
punching
go as
in,
far. Huh?
like punching into jello.
That'll work.
Okay. Because that's what I'm imagining. It's, it hits something and the resistance is like, or a bullet into the jelly.
Ballistics gel. Yeah.
Yeah, to where it slows it down and goes down at angles. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I tell them what I see that somebody see different.
We see the same thing.
Yeah. That you all three see the boulder do that.
I've never done that before. Normally, it goes it goes a long distance. I've hunted like this before. I would not go across the water. I call out for Ariana because I never heard her voice, and since there's a wall and there shouldn't be a wall, there's birds attacking us that shouldn't be attacking us. I want to make sure if I can get somebody to respond.
Well, they're not attacking.
What?
They're not attacking the birds. They're not attacking you. They're
The birds attacked me. Remember, they attacked my
okay.
head.
Yes.
So
those.
So it's like this magic thing is not something I'm liking. So I'm like, I'm seeing if it's a real voice that somebody heard, or if it's a voice an individual heard that wasn't really there. I mean, I don't know where she went, so I'm trying to get her find out where she went too. So Ariana, Ariana.
Okay. Ariana, give me a perception check.
Uh, all right.
Okay. You are making your way back, and you hear nothing.
All right.
Yeah. You hear no response to your call for Ariana.
I
Rogar.
look around. Do I see her footprints?
Give me a survival check. It is an 18, right, Ariana?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking at it at a strange angle, and sometimes it looks like a 48. I'm like, how the hell is he getting a 48?
No, not quite.
You didn't realize that over our last long rest, she became a CR40 monster.
Sure. Okay. Rogar, that's a 15, right?
Yes, it is.
Um. Yeah, there are footprints that um go down the bank of the river. Off towards where Irana went.
I say I don't. Okay, I don't hear her over there, but I see her. You say her voice came from the north. I see footprints heading towards the west. Do you want to follow to see where they lead?
That might be a better route than trying to swim with all this armor on.
Yeah, he mentioned swimming. I look over to where the rock went downwards, and I point and say down.
Yeah, and if whatever that effect is continues through the water, that could be really bad if we try and go through there. Maybe if we can find a narrower place to cross. For you and Damba, looking at Lisa.
I'm sorry. You're wanting me to cross somewhere?
Instead of swimming across with the rock that kind of fell short, um, like it was thick, like super thick, almost solid air. Would it make better sense for us to follow Iriana's uh, tracks towards the west than to try and swim across this water with our armor and the effects of that rock?
Yeah, I agree with you that it probably would. The the concern I would have is that uh, either the tracks are going to disappear, or this is this water is a masking extension of that wall, and we can't see or hardly hear her back up here because there's so much of a wall in the way. And by walking the way she did, she went around the wall. And I don't have a problem with that if that's what we discover. But we need to be sure that we keep her tracks in sight.
I will help track with Rogar.
If we lose her tracks, then I think we probably have a more difficult situation.
Is there a tree around?
There are a whole lot of trees around.
I'm going to pull out my rope and I'm going to tie it around one of the trees.
Okay. You tie a rope around a tree.
And I'm going to start following the tracks, holding on to the rope.
Okay.
Now, we still don't have a compass, is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Um,
So, how do we determine that we are continuing to travel in the right direction and not making a 180-degree turn over a long distance?
We can't. I'm just following the tracks of the individual. The only tracks that I see that she walked, or I assume she walked, and I have the
Yeah.
rope tied around to make sure that if I get lost, I can walk my way back, or at least until the rope says, "Hey, you can't go no further."
yeah, you walk 50 feet and the rope stops you.
I ask if anybody else has some more.
I don't know if we need more rope. We just follow the tracks until they end, and they are either going to continue down this path or they're going to end at a river or part of the pond to where she may have crossed. If she crossed. If what. If Lazem said that she was on the other side of the pond, then she had to cross somewhere.
Okay.
And if we follow her tracks, we should be able to determine where she crossed and cross at that point to follow where she went.
Then I'll go untie my rope and I'll just follow the tracks and see as best I can until I start having issues following them.
Okay. Um, yeah, the tracks aren't hard to follow. She wasn't, trying to be stealthy about it. Um, okay. Um, you guys are gonna kill me. Ariana, um,
Yeah.
you make your way back to where your friends are, and they don't seem to be there.
And I like followed the same path back.
Yep.
Do I see footprints where they went?
Yes, there are footprints on the ground that seem to follow your tracks.
And I was following my tracks as well.
Yes.
And I didn't see any illusions or anything.
Nope. Um, as a matter of fact, considering the direction their tracks went and the direction you just came from, you have no clue how you didn't pass each other.
All right, and everyone went with them as well as Bryn and Aiden.
Yes, they are all. You are the only one separated from the party at this point. Everyone else is with the other three.
All right. Then I will stay here and periodically call across the water again.
Okay. Everyone except Irana, give me a perception check.
I got a question,
Okay.
and this is not metagaming. It's more of clarification for my own imagination.
Okay.
When he was walking back, would you just said that he saw the footprints of us going.
Mhm.
Were they? Did they just appear when he got back to our location, or when he crossed the water and came to our location following his tracks? Were our footprints already there?
Um, she looked
Okay.
down. She looked down and noticed them. Um, when she got back to the original location, she
Okay.
didn't.
So
She was
yeah.
not looking for them before that. So,
Thank you.
damn you guys, you all hear it. Um, okay, you guys are walking along, following the tracks. Um, you find the point where she crossed the river or the stream or whatever. And at this point, it has narrowed to about 3 or 4 feet, so you can literally see the other side, and you can see her tracks continuing on the other side of the stream.
Can we see two sets of tracks?
That's what I was going to ask. Good question.
Both her tracks going across the stream and also her tracks coming back to this side?
No, you cannot. You see the one set of tracks.
Okay.
So I would guess that somehow by going all the way around as she did, she managed to cross some kind of a barrier. And it could very well be that if we follow her tracks and come back, we'll cross the same barrier and we'll be able to find her. However, before we do that, does anyone have something that would have her scent on it?
I don't, but you're saying I hear her voice behind us?
Not yet.
No, I'm thinking Damba's perception was high, and
Well, you don't really know what what his
well,
perception was.
I'm looking at that number, yes, but also he has a high hearing and smell, very keen hearing and smell, and if we had something to give him a reference, then he could go, and I'd want to put a rope around his neck or on his collar so that we didn't get separated, but maybe he could find her where we can't.
Okay, anything? Anyone have anything of Ariana's?
Nope. I don't have my stuff.
I do not.
Okay, unfortunately, nobody has anything with her scent on it specifically.
Was there anything in the stuff that we took on and started carrying from the scientists that would have her scent on it? Did she pick up and handle anything?
Not that I'm aware of.
Oh. All right. Well, I thought it was a good idea, but I guess not.
It was.
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, it
When
didn't
do we
quite
hear
work
her
out.
voice, or do we hear her voice?
You haven't heard it yet.
Okay.
I do need to take off.
Oh, damn. Okay, then I guess we'll leave it here. Um, we'll leave it with Iriana having uh, returned to the location where she left her friends, and everyone else at the stream where Iriana crossed. And we will pick it up like that next week.
Great cliffhanger.
It is. I was kind of hoping we'd get through it, but it didn't quite work out.
That's alright.
So are you guys completely confused?
Nope. Actually, okay. My character, yes, in New York moment, he ain't figured nothing out. Me, no. I
Ye-
figured it out as soon as he got back and saw footprints.
What did you figure out?
It's all time, uh, distorted.
Energy, magic.
Yeah,
We're
so
on the thickness is a time barrier type of something or other. But again,
so
character doesn't know that, but
yeah.
Okay.
I'll see you guys later.
Okay, talk to you
Right.
later, bud.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, how it happened, I have no idea.
I haven't quite figured that out myself yet. Working on that.
Well, you got a week to figure it out.
Yeah.
But considering he's all the way back there and we're here, I say he's at a faster time than us. He's ahead of our time.
You mean she?
She. Thank you.
Maybe.
hey,
Hey.
they,
Oh, I gotcha.
he who plays a she.
But, so I mean, it's interesting. It's a good cliffhanger. I'm still trying to figure out the wall. That's where my guy's mind is. He's not on the, hey, that's okay. She's missing. She went and did this. Let's just find her. Has no clue that there's something going on because he still hadn't heard the voice or anything. So it's like, you know, somebody was imagining stuff, but he's still trying to figure out the clear water and the non-salt water because that wall should not be there.
Is the Sea of Dragons a saltwater sea? Does anyone know?
I would imagine so.
That's what I'm saying because it's a sea. Sea generally sea and oceans are salt and lakes and streams are clear water
Freshwater, yeah.
or
Okay.
fresh water. So that's where his mindset is. Okay, if this is actually a real waterfall, there's a lake on the other side of this, and that's what I was going to do the next time we were sleeping. I was going to fly over and taste the water. Get back where we were. If that wall was there, I was tasting the water, whether it would have been a bad thing or not, because I'd have been Bo right now. So yeah, you went without the group and you disappeared. Like, oops, I tried.
Okay, so I guess we'll pick it up next week.
All right, thank you for the game then.
Thank you.